Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Lacey Roberts. We start with new evidence in the investigation into whether a Greyhound bus driver was on his cell phone when the bus collided with a truck. This picture appears to show the driver using his phone before the accident. It happened on I-75 in Rockcastle County. Metadata or a timestamp on the photo reveals it was taken at 3:57 yesterday. Calls for help after the collision went out by 4:20. Several passengers have reported seeing the driver on the phone before the crash. KSB has been made aware of the photo. Nick Oliver breaks down the new information in our top story at 11.
Over 24 hours later, there's still a lot that is being determined in Thursday's Greyhound bus crash that sent 17 people to hospitals around the region. But since that chaotic scene, this photo taken by someone a short time before that crash appears to show the driver, Vincent Watts, using a cell phone.
A few people including me, saw him on his phone.
Shortly after that crash, we spoke with Taylor McLean. She was in the second row. She says from the moment Watts entered the bus, she noticed the phone.
I can't say I'm 100% sure at the time of the crash, but a few minutes before I glanced up and I saw him on his phone.
And she's not alone. This woman who was on the bus says she saw the same thing.
Holding it on the steering wheel, and it was between his two hands, and he was holding the steering wheel and the phone at the same time.
So what are the rules? As a driver of this large bus, Watts does hold a commercial driver's license. But that title comes with restrictions when it comes to phone usage. According to the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, those restrictions include not holding the phone to talk or call. That includes pressing buttons. Calls must be hands-free. If caught, it comes with a nearly $2,800 fine and $11,000 fine to the company. We asked Greyhound if they have seen the photo. A short time ago, they replied saying, quote, consistent with our protocol, the driver is currently out of service as Greyhound conducts its own internal investigation. In Rockcastle County, Nick Oliver, WYMT Mountain News.
Officials say they are taking a close look at the possibility of Watts using a cell phone while driving. That bus was traveling from Atlanta to Cincinnati when it crashed. This weekend marks the 28th anniversary of a double murder in Laurel County. Brothers Rodney and Len Vaughn were shot and killed in 1991. Robert Foley was convicted for the crime 2 years later and sentenced to death, but today he remains alive on death row. Sharon McGeorge, the daughter of Rodney Vaughn, was 12 years old when it happened. Over the years, she's kept up with any developments in the case, and now nearly 30 years later, she's still seeking justice.
He has tormented my life, my family's life, for 28 years. He's breathing air my father doesn't get to breathe. My uncle doesn't get to breathe. It's unfair. It's unjust.
Foley was also convicted and sentenced to death in 4 other murders in Madison County. So far, no execution date has been set. Also in Laurel County, a teen leads police on a pursuit and it ends with a car fire and foot chase. We first told you about this last night. Police say 18-year-old Mickey Wayne Grubb led them on a long chase. It all ended when the car he was driving crashed into an embankment off of Barron Road. That's when he ran out of the car and police chased him into a field on a nearby property.
Fortunately for us yesterday, we were very fortunate to get him in custody, nobody hurt, and the suspect arrested.
Grubbs now faces charges from both the Laurel County Sheriff's Office and Kentucky State Police. He was taken to the Laurel County Corrections Center. Today, friends and family gathered in Tennessee to say goodbye to a corrections officer killed by an escaped inmate. Services for Deborah Johnson were held at noon in Nashville. Investigators say inmate Curtis Watson killed Johnson before he escaped the West Tennessee State Penitentiary last Wednesday. Johnson worked for the Tennessee Department of Corrections for nearly 40 years. She planned to retire this year. New developments tonight in the world of college basketball. The University of Kentucky's basketball assistant coach Kenny Payne has reportedly been linked to the Nike pay-to-play scandal. Sports director Marcus Browning joins us with more on the topic. Marcus.
Yeah, Lacey, Kentucky basketball assistant coach Kenny Payne has been linked to the Michael Avenatti case involving Nike EYBL director Carlton DeBose. This according to a report by Yahoo Sports, as Yahoo reports that DeBose participated in a text message exchange on July 16th of 2017 with an assistant coach from UK, according to the motion. This is allegedly Kenny Payne. This all stems out of an extortion case between Avenatti and Nike. Avenatti allegedly threatened to go public with information on pay-to-play schemes involving Nike's EYBL. I'll have more on those text messages and UK's response to the news in just a few minutes coming up in sports.
And it's been just a beautiful day here in the mountains, and it's been a gorgeous evening, and that'll continue as we head into the rest of those overnight hours. Let's go ahead and take you into downtown Whitesburg. Not dealing with much over there, just a gorgeous evening. Could be dealing with a little bit of that patchy fog late tonight, early into tomorrow, but for now looking pretty good. Looking into satellite and radar where we are seeing nothing. Haven't had to deal with any of those rain chances today. Only dealt with a few of those high clouds, but other than that, it's just been a gorgeous day. It was a little bit on the warm side, still kind of is. Those upper 60s to lower 70s. Warm spot over into Pikeville at 76 degrees. We're seeing those upper 60s for a lot of our friends down into the Cumberland Valley. Those dew points earlier they were in the lower 60s, a little bit on the comfortable side. Still some spots the low 60s. Now we're into those mid to upper 60s, so maybe a little bit muggy out there, but still feeling great. I know when I came back from dinner earlier, it still felt pretty good outside, but as we head into the weekend, the heat and the humidity increase once again. We'll see plenty of sunshine as we head into the weekend as well, and when will those scattered rain chances return once again? I'll have a look at that full forecast coming up in a little bit. Lacey.
Thanks, Paige. Today, Blackdale miners met at the Letcher County Courthouse to learn more about what they can expect in the next few months. One of the main topics that lawyers talked about should be how receiving something in the mail from bankruptcy court called a proof of claims form. They asked the miners not to fill that out because they were approved a class action which covers everyone.
Because we have filed a class action and it has been certified and approved by the court as a class, the miners don't need to fill out those forms. That's basically been taken care of them by the lawyers.
Cromer hopes that things will be looking up soon. Family and friends of Shaylee Cobb gathered at the Pike Central football field this afternoon to honor her memory. Cobb died last month after a battle with leukemia. The group held a moment of silence for Shaylee and then released balloons. Many of them tied notes about her. Her mother says she was always kind and will be missed by the entire community. She says the support the family received from the school and community was more appreciated than they will ever know.
And they give us a great amount of support during the months that she was sick. So it means a tremendous amount.
Munchie says she hopes Shaylee's story will increase awareness for bone marrow donation, which she says could potentially save anyone who finds themselves in Shaylee's situation. A bike ride across Kentucky is the only latest mission for Corporal Matt Bradford. In 2007, he lost both his legs and his vision after stepping on an IED. The retired Marine has since become a symbol for overcoming adversity. He's now focused on inspiring others with this bike ride. He talked with Hillary Thornton on day 3 of his journey.
Before the sun is up, Marine Corporal Matt Bradford and members of Operation Enduring Warrior are getting their gear together, ready to hit the road for day 3 of Bradford's current mission.
The biggest part was just getting my body used to be on a bike for so long.
Making the trek across the state of Kentucky on a tandem bicycle, starting in Ashland, ultimately riding to Fort Campbell. It is just the latest challenge for the Purple Heart recipient, always living out his motto, no legs, no vision, no problem. Bradford losing both legs and his vision after stepping on an IED in Iraq back in 2007. In 2010, re-enlisting, becoming the first blind double amputee Marine. Now since retiring, doing things like marathons, getting his college degree, obstacle courses, and climbing mountains.
There's nothing in this world that can stop you. It's only mental. You know, if you believe you can't do it, then you can't. So if I can inspire anybody just to get out and check off something on their bucket list, and that's what I'm here for.
Bradford says he's really enjoying getting to travel through the state he loves and meet people in all of the towns they're passing through.
We've met a lot of great people, and that's the one thing that I love about this state is these small communities, and there's so many patriots out here, and they'll see the truck, the trailer, and they'll just walk up and ask us what we're doing, and many times they're veterans.
Pedaling through about 70 miles each day with the support of some of his brothers, hoping his story inspires others.
Enjoy life, and I enjoy my life, and I feel like when I got hurt in January of 2007, this is the mission that God put me on, and and I'm going to continue inspiring and motivating others.
Hillary Thornton, WYMT Mountain News.
Adding to the ride today, Bradford is celebrating his 33rd birthday. Check this story out. Two people spent 53 years of their life without meeting their siblings. That all changed for Jim Lawless and Tracy Walton when a DNA test came back as a match on Ancestry.com. Jim traveled from Houston, Texas, all the way to Jackson County to meet his sister for the first time. He explains how their first interaction went over the phone.
I said, can I speak to Tracy? This is her. And I said, this may sound strange, but my name's Jim Lawless. I live in Houston, Texas, and my wife gave me a DNA test for Father's Day, and I sent it in, and it says you're my sister.
The two spent a lot of time talking, looking at photo albums, and catching up on the past 53 years. Tracy Walton says she and her husband will be making a trip to Houston to visit her brother in the future. Hundreds of thousands of dollars will help turn one old shopping center into new homes in Perry County. It is all part of a community block grant. I talked to city officials today about what is to come. Just outside of downtown Hazard, this lot has been vacant for quite some time.
Where we had once thriving shopping center here, it's in decay now.
This is what the inside of the building looks like now.
So we're very fortunate to get this grant, and we're hoping to turn it into a nice, thriving community again.
The city is partnering with the Housing Development Alliance on this project to help bring a breath of fresh air to the community.
We're actually going to construct the 15 units, the 15 homes that are going to get sold to low-income families.
Since the demolition began on condemned properties in the county, having this one be a part of something new means a lot.
So you take something that's kind of an eyesore and you turn it into a community asset.
An asset that will bring more life to a dead space at a lower cost.
The houses we're going to build are going to be modest in size, but they're going to be highly energy efficient and super well built, so they're easy to maintain.
Where families will have low utility costs, a community effort City Commissioner Luke Glazer is proud to be a part of.
I think the key word there is community. This grant was put together and worked on by the city, working with the state, and we are working with local entities like the Housing Development Alliance to make this happen.
A new community that 15 families will soon call home. A date has not yet been set on when demolition will begin, but we, of course, will keep you informed over on WYMT.com. Coming up at 11, autopsy results are out in the death of prominent billionaire Jeffrey Epstein. Hear from investigators as they shed light on his final moments.
And those temperatures will be on the rise as we head into the weekend. I'll have those details coming up.